Hey everyone, do you want to have a successful crowdfunding campaign for your comic book? Do you want to get as many people as possible to read your comic book? Then you are in the right place today. Destiny will choose 3 indie comic campaigns for us to review today. We will choose one campaign to back based on which one had the best presentation. So stay to the end to see who will be chosen, because in the end,
there can be only one.
We're back. Another Friday, a special Friday. It's Jason Voorhees' birthday today.
Did you leave out your virgins and milk for Jason to come last night? Because if you didn't, you may end up with your parents' head underneath the stove.
That's right. It's Friday the 13th. It's not any Friday the 13th. It's June 13th, the official birthday of Jason Voorhees. And last week, we all missed Smurf, and we gave you a new nickname, the Banshee. The screaming Banshee.
Do I come across as a banshee? Am I screaming? I think I'm passionate. I'm passionate about comics. I'm passionate about your Kickstarter. I'm passionate about saving lives with comic books and keeping my shit to myself.
It's mine. It's mine.
It's all mine.
He likes his comics. You can't have them.
I do.
It's good to have you back. This is our 53rd episode, bringing you the best indie comics on the market. Man, a year has flown by.
I mean, it surprisingly went by quickly. I mean, and we've learned so much. We've come so far. I mean, I haven't had anything fall on me for at least, 6 months. So I mean, that's just a step in the right direction. Just saying.
Well, that Lego's still sitting behind you, waiting to fall back on your head.
Actually, I'm going to switch out. Instead of having my statue box art back behind me, I've got some actual art that I've picked up that I'm going to probably replace the statue box with.
Of course, a call I've been waiting for is coming through today. That's awesome.
Of course. That's awesome.
It's always how it is. Try to get a hold of a doctor for weeks, and they finally call you back when you're doing something important. You know what? The Lego skeleton falling in your head reminds me that I need to go back in and edit our intro and put that in the intro.
You do need to have that in there. I mean, it took me out. I mean, I was done. I was on the floor and shit. Like, the hell happened to Smurf?
Oh, that was funny.
Mr. Bone Jangles behind me took me out.
We got some people in the chat with us. Josh Dead Cosmos is with us. Benjamin BMD Nerd is with us, and he has a question to start the show off. He says,
all right.
And Smurf is the horror guy. What are your best or favorite scary movies? A couple of them. It's hard to narrow down to the one.
I mean, I like there's a foreign horror film called High Tension that I really appreciate, and I like it a lot. One of the horror films that scared the crap out of me when I was younger was Hellraiser. But I'm also very classic horror where, I appreciate The Gate and some of those films. But, I mean, nothing beats Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the scariest film of all time is Showgirls.
There you have it, folks. Smurf is back. Thank you.
I mean, there's so many good horror films. What's that?
Okay, I should clarify. So, we got your horror films, and you are a fan of a lot of different mediums of entertainment. You like film, you like games. So the question actually was, and I misread it, what is one of your favorite horror comics?
Ooh, I would probably have to go to Tales from the Crypt, the old EC books. That's what got me into comics, actually. I grew up in a small little town where I was a wee little nipper. I shouldn't say grow up, but I was born in Lena, Wisconsin. So there was this dime store. wee baby man said, like this big. Dime store, squeaky rack and all. There was the EC Creep Show, and that's what got me into comics. My first DC comic was Green Lantern, quickly followed by Marvel, which was of course Spidey. So, but it was Green Lantern that introduced me to Batman, because Neil Adams. I got a piece of Neil Adams art, and then I found out he was doing Batman. So that put me onto the Batman trail.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's EC horror all the way. Oh, before like the parental code, and I mean the artwork and everything that went into that was just gorgeous. In fact, that's probably where my love for hatch work and all of that came from, because how do you add texture and shadows to a flat page, but by putting like the appropriate hatch work and the shadows and everything that goes into it. So I mean there's
I always go back to Bernie Wrightson when I think of like hatching and bringing light and shadow to a black and white page. He's still one of my heroes. Well, cool. Thank you for that question, Benjamin, and thank you for your fun answers there, Smurf.
In fact, at RMC, I picked up a couple Wrightson Swamp Things to finish that point, because I picked up Swamp Thing number 2, number
for me?
5. I didn't know you needed them. Number 9.
It's mine.
It's all mine. And a DC Twisted Tales, which I hadn't seen for quite a while. I don't think I'd ever seen it before, so I picked that up. So I picked up quite the horror comic book haul this at the last RMC. So
nice. I would love to look at the pages of the Swamp Thing. I've seen pictures and whatnot, scans and stuff online, but I don't think I've ever actually sat through and read the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll bring them to show you.
Welcome, John. So you missed a great show last week, Smurf. We had some pretty great competition, but in the end, there can be only one, and Dragon's Bane won out.
Wow.
Yes, it was a good showdown for sure. But we got another good list today. We're going to pull up and take a look at in a second. Today's list is full of cryptids. Like 3 or 4 different campaigns based around cryptids today. It's interesting. Benjamin says, I've never read Swamp Thing, but I know Alan Moore fans hype it up. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the Alan Moore stuff, but it's like the early, Wrightson issues. If you can get like classic Silver Age Swamp Thing, it's a little bit different, because Alan Moore stuff, it gets so convoluted and all of that, and I think the earlier Wrightson Swamp Things deal more with kind of like the horror aspect, and then you've got like where Swamp Thing meets Batman, which is issue 8, I believe, which catches a pretty penny just simply because it's a great cover. Swamp Thing, for some strange reason, is on the side of a building as Batman swings in on his Batline. Ha! So, but it's really hard to beat Wrightson's artwork in that beginning run of Swamp Thing. So, but Alan Moore, I mean, no shade on Alan Moore. Trust me, the man's a genius. Yeah. But I prefer my Swamp Thing pure.
All right. Well, before we get into the Wheel of Destiny today, be sure and like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. Also, if you enjoy what we're doing here, you can support this show for just $5 a month by going on to Patreon. You can get access to exclusive content like the breakdowns of the positives and negatives of these campaigns, a checklist of things to look for in your campaigns, as well as the show that we're doing right now is uploaded directly to your email. So you don't have to remember to go look for it. It just pops up in your email and boom, you're ready to watch it. So be sure and check that out as well. You can also support by going to 5280geek.com and checking out the podcasts, merchandise, and all kinds of things. So be sure to like, share, and all that good stuff.
And if you're looking to promote your business, your name here, you could be an official sponsor of the Wheel of Destiny. We could spin in your name. Put it here. Pitch it to
By
us.
the way,
We want you here.
I did send out an email to a potential sponsor, a big nationwide sponsor.
Nice.
Waiting to hear back.
Big time.
I have a list of a couple of different people I want to reach out to, but I was kind of apprehensive about sending emails out to like all 10 of the companies on my list, because I was like, I don't know what to do if more than one says yes. It's like, if I guarantee you like a spot on every show, but suddenly 2 people say yes, like how do I do that? I don't know.
Well, that's easy. We have midway breaks. It'll be like old-timey, wimey radio, where, hey, this portion is brought to you by Nerd in a Box. Do you need a nerd? All you have to do is break out this box, add a little Dr. Pepper, and voila, bomb, bada bing, you have an instant nerd. Now, on to the wheel.
When we get a sponsor, and we get a script for it, I'm going to be sure and have you record it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Radio
I'm so
voice.
excited. So excited. It's so exciting.
All right, let's see who we've got coming onto the wheel this week. We've got Aliens West. I'm looking forward to seeing what this one is all about. Terror on the Range. We got Zen Bounty Wars. Do you remember? There's
the Zen Warrior?
Yeah, Zen Warrior Intergalactic Ninja. That's what this is from. And I'm curious to see what this is all about. If it gets on the show. Then we've got the League of Cryptids. So we've got a whole league of them, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, only with cryptids, which sounds interesting.
Okay.
And then we got another cryptid, Bigfoot Knows Karate.
Gone squatching.
Yeah. Then we've got this ultra-violent comic called Deadhead. And it's not only a comic, but also a release of an action figure at the same time. So that looks cool.
Creative marketing.
Then we've got Hero of Legend. Looks like a fantasy comic. This one looks something straight out of 80s cartoons. It's called Dino Knights. And as you can see here, it's got some very cartoony style, like 90s cartoony, I guess. Dinosaurs wearing in suits of armor and axes and swords. So that looks really fun. I hope it's as fun as it looks. And then we have a returning returning contestant, The Fog Within, on their 4th issue. I believe that's Sean's book. So looks like a pretty good lineup today. So are you ready?
Spin that wheel, baby.
Let's fucking go.
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Time to spin the wheel. All right, here we go. We'll turn out the ads over here. Do a quick shuffle, and here we go. Number 1 is going to be... Looks like we're going to get to check out Zen Bounty Wars. Very good, very good. Let me go ahead and bring that one up. Got it. All right, next up, take that one off the list. Spinning for the second contestant on the Wheel of Destiny. Number 2 is gonna be Martha's book, Aliens West.
Nice. Okay, I'm excited about that one. Because I love Cowboys versus Aliens. That was like one of my favorite books. And then when they did the film with Favreau behind the wheel, I just absolutely loved it.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing that too. I know that Martha has done a lot of campaigns, has a lot of following, so should be pretty good. Oops. There we go. Second tab pulled up. There we go. Remove that one. And then we have our final contestant. Number 3 is gonna be... Oh, it's close. It's close. It's close. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna switch. Oh, right over the line with Deadhead #1. So close, Sean. So close. All right, we got some big contenders today. Dino Head. If you haven't checked them out, be sure and check out Dino Knights, The League of Cryptids, Hero of Legend, Bigfoot Knows Karate, and The Fog Within. All very worthy comics. All right. So we got one more here I need to add. That was Deadhead. So interesting story about Cowboys versus Aliens. And this is a PG-13 story. So when I was first making my own website originally it was Matt Campbell Art. I built a blog, and Aliens versus Cowboys was a review that I did on my blog, as well as on the same day I also reviewed what was the name of that? The new Thundercats cartoon, the remake. Where it was a little bit more anime style. And I learned from that blog post something that has stuck with me for the rest of my life when it comes to getting views on your website. I learned that there are a lot of thirsty people out there Googling some strange things. Because in my review, I made mention in the simplest of terms that there was nudity in Aliens versus Cowboys, and Olivia Wilde appears nude. That's literally all I said. Next thing I know, I'm getting all this traffic on my site, and I go to my analytics, and I'm getting searches for Olivia Wilde nude. I'm also getting weird searches for Thundercats nude. But and let this be a lesson to you why blogging is important. Because of the amount of traffic that I got from that blog for years, if you typed in Colorado comic book artist, I was at the top of the list on Google because of the amount of traffic my site received. So that was helping lift my website up with all this weird searches. So let that be a lesson to you, kids. You can get some traffic sometimes that way.
Wowzers. And she's not even really nude. I mean, it's not even full
butt around the fire.
Yeah, you see her butt. You don't even you get the side boob. I mean, it's not even
I didn't actually have a picture of it either, and so most of those people showed up looking for it and were pissed off because there was nothing there that they were looking for, and they were out. But I'm like, hey, thanks for boosting my website anyway.
Thanks for the click.
Yep. So that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I learned an important lesson that day. All right. So, the very first one was Zen Bounty Wars, and this one. Hold on. Tell me an amusing story real fast.
So I don't know. Did we mention the passing of Peter David?
No.
And that is, I mean, and I feel bad to bring it up. I'm not trying to bring it downer, but because I was just looking up and I saw my Aquaman with the harpoon on his hand, which made me think of Peter David, which one of the best authors of all time, best run on the Incredible Hulk ever. I feel bad that the man has passed. If you were not paying attention, so.
Yeah, that is sad. I didn't actually know that. So,
yep. Oh, dude. His run on the Hulk is my favorite. I love his stories. He made Smart Hulk. He made Gray Hulk. He made Hulk Angry Smash Hulk. He did all of that. That was all his writing. So to see that, and his run on X Factor. Oh my God, we'd have some other villains if Marvel hadn't pissed him off, because they wanted to do yet another, X crossover thing. And he's like, I'm in the middle of a story. I'm about to introduce a major villain. They're like, well, we want you to do this. And then he got pissed. He did it, and then he quit. So he never got the villain that he was going to introduce into X Factor. So Lord only knows what it was. So there you go. There's your little jewel for today. What do we got?
All right, so this is Zen Bounty Wars #2. It's so again, let's kind of just go through the numbers here. So first, we've got our title, Zen Bounty Wars #2. Unless you know about this property, I mean, I don't really know what that means.
It's I mean, this is a popular IP. Is this through an independent?
It is independent, and the thing is, like, I would say it's fairly popular as far as indie comics go. It is a well-known IP. I mean, honestly, what's crazy about the popularity of this is it never went beyond like issue 0.
You know, and that is funny that you say that, because yes, everybody knows this guy, but it's never like grown into full fruition. Like, I mean, the other two characters that immediately come to my mind for like most recognized independent character, Cerebus, the rabbit from, you know, the samurai rabbit, and the turtle. Yep. And the turtles. I mean, those right there are like the most recognizable. And Zen somehow falls in there, even though he's never had a successful comic run ever,
or a show. Yeah,
or a show. He's never had a show. He's had a toy line. He's had a toy line, and he's never had a show.
Yeah. So, let's see. The tagline says, "The exciting new issue in the Zen Intergalactic Ninja Saga is here. Zen Bounty Wars by Stern and Mouse." All right. So again, I'm trying to look at this with fresh eyes as someone who doesn't know what Zen is, and at this point, like, I'm excited. The part of me who knows what it is like, oh, cool, there's something more to the Zen Saga. The part of me that doesn't know is like, well, I think there's something here with Intergalactic Ninja. That sounds kind of cool. But other than that, I don't really know a whole lot just yet. But obviously, there's a lot of people that do. It said they were funded in 5 hours. They have a goal of $4,000 to raise for this issue 2. They're currently at about 7,000 with 100 backers, and they still got 20 days to go, so they could do well. Let's see what this video tells us. A lot of intro. There we go. Well, that's it. So what do you know now?
Nothing. I mean, it's vague Kickstarter at its best. I mean, we saw, I think, pages from the actual issue, but for all I know, that could have been from the previous book. So I don't know anything. I mean, but I also don't know like any of the artist or the author or any of that, which I'm excited about, because I think I would be more upset if I knew more about them than I do about the book. Mm-hmm. So I'm intrigued. I do like the art. It is very dark tones, it seems. Kind of, I mean, some part of the art looked a little muddy, but I don't know if that's just the video or if that's the look they're going for. But having, like you said, fresh eyes and not knowing what the previous issue looked like, I might scroll down. I'd probably do a scroll. Based on that video, I'd do a scroll and see what the top paragraph is. You got me for a top scroll. There we go.
Yeah, from my point of view, same thing. I saw some great art. I love that they showed the art. The art kind of looks like an amalgamation of what we saw on the cover. It's like each character had their own moment, and then they kind of put all those together for the cover. The artwork definitely looks like it's something from a 90s, and Benjamin even says that. If you told me that was a trailer for a 90s beat 'em up game, I would believe you. Yeah,
Absolutely. Points for that.
So we're getting a little bit of the tone of like what it feels like, but I don't know anything yet about what this comic is about. So let's see down there at the story section what it tells us. So one thing that we comment on every time is, if you can see my finger over here, this area where it says risks, your jump points, right? These are areas that can be utilized to have people jump directly to the things that they want to know on your campaign. And they're very helpful, especially for returning backers or people that already know your stuff. They can jump in there and they can say, hey, I already know what this comic is about. I just want to see what kind of cool covers there are, or what kind of cool rewards there are. So that's a missed opportunity to not have these right here. Okay. Let's see what the actual campaign tells us. It says Zen Bounty Wars Intergalactic Ninja 2. I haven't seen one yet, but I'm sure it'll tell us something about that. It says, welcome back. Zen Bounty Wars number 2 of 4 is here, and the action and adventure is ramping up. If you missed issue 1, no worries. It'll be available in the add-on section after you choose your tier, so you can be all caught up. The tier selections are a little more streamlined this time, and everything else will be available as an add-on. Whether you'd like additional copy or pick up or choose another copy, there will be a special print pack and sticker pack with all new images, so make sure you check them out. So that was our first paragraph.
Okay. I mean,
we got information about, there's some clarity about the campaign functionality. Like, we're going to have this, we're going to have this. It does a good job of saying that issue 1 is available. The add-ons are well organized. But
I do like that they also addressed previous issues that they have overcome, as far as, overcoming objections. So, I mean, if you were part of the previous campaign, which obviously is that funding as quickly as it did, they were, to address that right out of the gate, like, yeah, we know we fucked up, and yeah, this is how we fixed it. So, I mean, I do like them taking ownership, and then here's the solution to it, in addition to blah, 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 blah. So I do, I appreciate that. That's pretty good.
Right on. All right. So then we scroll down. We got some cool artwork. Thank you for backing and supporting with our main character there. And I know that's the main character because I remember it. And then we've got a character card here that says Black Hole Bob. Another 5, funded in 5 hours. Stretch goals unlocked. Click here through the campaign to see for previews. So here are some page previews. That's always a good thing to add. Yep. We all like to see pages from the comic. And look, this has got that exciting kind of 90s feel. This almost looks like a Lobo shot right here.
It does, yeah.
But this looks great. It's a good thing to have. We want to see what we're getting in this comic. And this is showing that. I couldn't tell if this was a shot of the character turning or it's actually a 3-headed character. 3 heads, 6 boobs. That's too many.
What? or just right. You don't know. Don't rush. You never know.
Then we've got some more covers. It says Bill Mouse main cover tier 2, wraparound cover tier 3, virgin cover tier 4, variant cover tier 7. So another reason of having these jump points over here on the right, I always mix up which side, is at this point I'm now looking for the story and I want to jump to it, and I'm having to scroll through all of these covers, and I think that I'm about to say something I've never said in a campaign before. Exclusive print C, new items, sticker pack. And then we're into about the creators, and oh my God, this is a huge missed opportunity for all of the people who don't have any clue about what this comic is. There is almost zero story pitch here. Yeah. I've never seen that before in a comic campaign. So, Bill, if you're watching, you still have 20 days left. This is an opportunity to go and grab some of those people who don't know your campaign. Give us a good, few sentence pitch about what this particular comic is about, not the whole overall 4-issue arc, but what this issue is about. What am I getting for the money I'm going to give you for this comic? Because that's really what it comes down to, is what am I getting out of this? And it's appealing right now only to the previous followers and people who are interested in collecting covers, not to the people who are interested in story. We don't know who Zen is. We don't know what he wants, who stands in his way, what makes this book different from other books, any of that stuff. And that's a major problem.
And who the hell is Black Hole Bob?
And who the hell Black Hole Bob is, right? I caught a glimpse of a video somewhere where one of the creators was kind of talking about Black Hole Bob, and he sounds really cool, but I don't see anything on here about Black Hole Bob. So that would be something cool to add, just a little character bio. Black Hole Bob is, the most awesome villain in the galaxy or something. Who knows?
Yep. He mops the floor with a ninja. I mean, just something, but I can't believe. I mean, I've never said this either. Someone absolutely resting on the laurels of an IP. I mean, he is recognizable, but I don't know up to what point. I mean, because the 90s are great and all, but there's a sharp cutoff between the 90s and the aughts, and I don't know who they're trying to appeal this to. I mean, older audiences, but even still, it
seems like it's appealing to the fans of the previous comic run. Bill's actually in the chat right now, which is always great. I love when people are watching live while we're talking about this stuff. And he says, feedback super important. Thanks. Will improve my presentation for sure. You guys are totally right on point. I hate being right about something that's wrong, but the idea about the show is to help. Another thing that I would consider, again, Smurf and I have both seen the original book. I think I have a copy of it somewhere. So I have a vague recollection of the tone of this. And the artwork is kind of giving it off, but like some mention about, is this sci-fi heavy? Is it more of a gritty bounty hunter thriller? Is it comedy action? Like, what kind of vibe is this? If you can intertwine that with the pitch about, the tone and the story kind of all in 2-3 sentences, and put it way at the top for those people. In fact, depending on your resources, if you went back and just put made a paragraph, put it at the top, and then had someone read that same paragraph over the top of your video, which is just music. Turn the music down though, so that people can hear the people talking. Then you're going to have that information in the video as well. And you can reach a lot of new backers that way. And that's what you really want, is to expand your audience.
Yep. And it wouldn't be that difficult, because if you drop that down to like an easy music bed, and then you can kick it up to the crescendo at the end of the video. But like a 1 minute, VO for that, just outlining what we're in store for with, Bounty Wars 2. And you can even phrase it that way. I'll give that to you. There you go. What you're in store for with Bounty Hunter Wars 2, Zen goes nuts, or, Black Hole Bob gets ninja'd. I mean, whatever, but add some excitement to it. Give us what we're getting. And because I think this looks really good. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah. I think this could jump into the stratosphere with a little bit of padding. The galaxy's most dangerous ninja turned bounty hunter is on the run from intergalactic warlords and bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a little massaging. Yeah, you're really on point. I like the unlocks. I like the tiers. I like the sticker package. Everything of this screams fan. I'm giving this to the fans. This is all about the fans, and I really appreciate that, and I think that a lot of other Kickstarter programs miss that point. That it's more of an ego stroke for them, and look at us. But no, you're actually taking the fan into consideration. What would the fans want? Of course, they want stickers. Of course, they want all of these things. So I applaud the tiers and all of that. But just that one little massage, and I think you guys will be epic with your returns.
All right, well, you're doing a great job. You've got $5 PDF tiers, a bunch of different variant covers, and then let's scroll to the bottom and see what kind of
whale tier.
Whale tier. Oh my gosh, this guy understands whale tier here. We got the $1,600 Ultimate Collector's Boss tier, and someone has already backed it. A 1 of 1, so they're all gone. For an exceptional collector to take home the goods with one click, all 5 covers for issue 2, a print pack, 1 sticker pack, 1 Zen black and white sketch pack, Nira X black and white sketch pack, a full color Zen sketch pack, Nira X full color sketch pack, and to complete your collection, you also receive an 11x17 original inked art signed by the artist for the main Bill Mouse cover, and the 22x17 wraparound inked cover. I mean, that's a lot.
Holy balls! Okay,
yeah.
that is epic. Well,
and so that one's gone, and then
that one's awesome.
Right above that, we've got a $425 tier that gives you a little bit of everything related to issue 2. You'll receive one copy each of each cover available, 5 covers in all. Plus, you'll receive a print pack, sticker pack, a sketch pack, another sketch pack, the full color Zen sketch pack, and the Nira X sketch pack. So that's a great deal. Someone's jumped on that one as well. I don't know if that one's limited or not, but so.
I mean, they're great value adds, just spectacular. Yeah. Again, for the fans, I appreciate that is spectacular.
Yeah,
wow.
So you're doing a great job on your tiers. You got low level, you got high level. I think that the only thing that we're missing is what we already talked about. So those, I know you have plenty of time to adjust all those things. Benjamin says, "I've never heard of Zen, but I swear I've seen Nira X on Kickstarter. Possibly. I'm not sure."
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, that was a great campaign, great looking campaign. On to the next one, which is Aliens West. Let's see if I can just switch over here if it's going to let me. So far, so good. All right, Aliens West, Terror on the Range. Tagline says, "Terror will be on the range." I think we could have done a little more there.
I mean, is that spicy chili? I mean, what?
Hey, you're welcome, Bill. You're welcome. Bill says thanks. You're absolutely welcome. That's what we're here for. And by the way, if you guys are listening and you're creators, I am putting together a new service. This is news to Smurf even because he was gone last week. I am putting together a service pack on my website. It's not ready yet. But essentially, what I want to be able to do is offer a review service of your campaign before you launch. While you're in the pre-launch stage, you send me a link to your campaign. Several of you guys are familiar with this, where you can get feedback directly. And I will break down the same things that we do on this show for a really inexpensive fee. And then for a little bit more, I'll actually do a short rewrite. But one of the things I've been getting a lot of feedback on is, hey, this is really great. I wish I'd known it before I started. And so that's a service that I'm going to be offering very, very soon. I have the page on my website about halfway done. I just need to set up the payment stuff. But look for that in the near future. All right. And then, of course, I'm also going to be offering downloadable PDFs as well that has a lot of the information we've talked about in one package. So you guys don't have to wait until your campaign's already done to get tore apart by Smurf and I. All right, on to Aliens West. This is Martha's campaign. She's done a lot of campaigns before. It says Aliens West, Terror on the Range. Tagline says Terror will be on the range. That is our first missed opportunity. There's some I need to go like write down the character limit in the tagline. I want to say it's like 150 characters or something like that. But that is your first opportunity to tell people something about your comic, whether or not they're going to be on board with the style, the genre, the tone, the story, something, right? And so this says Terror will be on the range. So I get the idea of something terrible and Old West. That's kind of the only thing.
Or you're going to the Swedish chef's kitchen and the chicken is fighting back.
On the range.
On the range.
On the 4-burner range.
That's right. Or you're driving through the middle of Nebraska and there's that field that has the open stove that's sitting out there. And yes, that is the open range. Ha ha! Yeah. I see it every time I drive out there. It's freaking weird.
You're punny. All right. There is a goal of $1,500. They are exactly at 1/3 of the way there at $1,000 with 41 backers and yet 15 days to go. So plenty of time to hit this goal. Are we ready to see what this is all about?
I'm ready to witness the range of this Kickstarter.
We're full of puns today.
Join us May 31st for Aliens West, where we look at shapeshifters who take over the American nation and are trying to find a way to get back home to their home planet. Come and join us today and help us out in our new Kickstarter with exciting features and exciting rewards. We hope to see you here, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have an alien in the West.
And that's it.
Okay.
What did you guys in the chat think? What are the positives? What are the negatives? Smurf, let's start with you.
I like the voiceover. However, I think it could be just a wee bit better with a couple of modifications. First of all, if you're going to read your copy, make it sound like you're not reading your copy and eliminate ums. You kind of had me with where it was going, and then she kind of did the so like she lost her place on her card or whatever she was reading. Number 2, if you are going to do your own voiceover and however you're recording it, set up your gear, if you can, inside a very insulated room. And I always give this as an example. If you have a walk-in closet, it is a natural soundproof room because of your clothes and everything that are in there absorbs sound, outside as well as inside. So there's no reverberation that you can hear the echo when she is speaking. I would have set up just a microphone, however she's recording. She may have been doing it on her cell phone, and she just kind of did it in a vaulted ceiling room, but I can hear the echo. Just go into your closet and do exactly what you just did, and I will guarantee you will eliminate that echo, that resonance that we're hearing. And just read your copy a few times so that you're at least familiar with it, so that when you reference your material, it's just to keep you on track. It's not to read it directly to the microphone. But be very familiar with it. Don't memorize it. You don't have to do that. But just be familiar with it so you don't have that stop.
Yeah, I mean, if your face isn't on camera, you don't need to memorize it. You can literally read it.
You literally can read it. And I believe that that's what she's doing, and there's nothing wrong with it. I do that every day. But it is all in how you deliver it and prepare yourself before you do the recording. And you can do as many recordings as you like. You've got time. No one's going to judge you on how quickly you need to do it. Don't feel rushed to get it done. Get it right, and that's the only thing. Other than that, I think the pitch, and I like that she thanks the fans. We get a firm hold of who, what, where, and an alien in the West. I like it. I like the premise, and I'm really impressed with the art that we see and the character designs, and I want more.
All right, so that was some great feedback, Smurf, especially in the technical side of things. So if you're watching, Martha, maybe utilize those techniques. We mentioned this before that speaking can be difficult. A lot of comic creators are kind of shy. They're introverted. I'll be honest. I've shared this with people that one of the reasons that I enjoy having Smurf on this show is that he helps bring up my levels. I'm very much more of a mellow, Bob Ross kind of person most of the time. And so I needed that energy lift. And so he helps bring me up to that level. And so I get it. I get how difficult it can be to, sound excited, say all these important things, really pitch something in a way that's going to get people's attention. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, there are people like Smurf over here that can do that. Now, just to give people an idea, Smurf, do you have any idea like what something like that would cost a comic creator?
I mean, it really depends on the voiceover artist. The average rate. Maybe? I mean, an average voiceover artist charges typically about $50 an hour. I mean, and that's usually just rate. I know some on the higher end for like a 4-hour session will charge a couple $100. It just really depends what you need. On something like this, I literally would charge you $25. I'd give you 3 different versions. You pick what you like, and that would be it. I mean, because this would probably, for me, it would not take long. And right. I've done,
you've got all the voiceover work, sound booth, ready to go.
Yeah, I just step in. You give me the lines. Boom, boom, boom. Here's 3 different reads. Send me on Venmo like $20-$25, and I wouldn't even. You don't even have to give me credit. I wouldn't even ask for anything. Here you go, and be done with it. If you want more, then like effects and all that, then we could be closer to that $50 or $40 for an hour. Make it perfect the way you want, and here you go.
Well, there you have it, folks. Think about that. If you're trying to raise, $1,500 for a campaign, spending $25 to $50 and having an excited, enthusiastic voiceover about your campaign that can make the difference in dozens upon dozens of backers being interested or not interested is well worth it. I mean, you're going to get your investment back on that pretty strongly, I think. So let's move on to the rest of the campaign, though. So there we go. And back up to here. I know I scrolled down while we were talking. There we go. All right. Back over to the story section. Again, we are seeing, this not being utilized, the jump points, right? And the thing is, this is super easy to do. When you're in, the Kickstarter builder, all you have to do is highlight something. And like you've got this animated title here that says the story, which is cool. I like that. But all you have to do is tag it and say, mark this as a spot, and then give it a name. And you could literally call it the same thing, the story, the cast. But the difference is that here it's a visual break, which is still a great thing to have. But over on the left, it's a jump point. So we can jump to the things we want to pay attention to. This is more and more important with today's modern viewers because they're impatient. They don't really care about some things. Let's see. The story says, what happens when an alien spacecraft is abandoned in the Old West of New Mexico in 1885 near a small town on a family's farm? The farmer who owned the land unfortunately passes away due to the chemicals coming from the spacecraft, which had crashed in its barn. Now taking his place and trying to fit in, the 2 aliens that were aboard the ship must now try to find a way to get back home. They work to befriend the inhabitants they trust in his town, but will it be easy? The wife of the farmer, Mildred, will do her best to help, but it may be a terror to get this task at hand. So, did I read that right? That an alien taken his place.
I think so.
It's now taking his place and trying to fit in. But the wife whose husband died because of them is helping them.
So she didn't die. The husband did. It seems like a very and this seems very like Resident Aliens and Resident Alien with with the premise. Yes, Tudyk. I like it. It's just I would probably rework the subject on that paragraph a little bit. I just kind of tweak it. That it's a lot. It's a mouthful. I would shorten it up and change the pronouns to something specific, and just like the alien is now taking the place of the farmer that accidentally passed from the chemicals released from the ship, and the wife is trying to help, or something along those lines. I would tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just like the video, this pitch lacks some energy and some drama. Like saying phrases like "Will it be easy?" Or it may be a terror to get this task at hand is kind of vague and passive. Saying something like 2 aliens crash land on a 19th century New Mexico farm. When the farmer dies from the wreckage, they take his place disguised as ranch hands, but have to avoid suspicion. Something that has some stakes to it. So that we're like, well, what's going to happen, right? This can set the tone, the conflict, things like that. Because, I don't really know if this is a dark comedy, a horror western, a heartfelt type of thing.
Right.
I'm not really sure on the tone, and that's sort of making it a little bit challenging. And so I would sharpen up some of that stuff. So I think a good tagline could be, they came in peace, but they weren't prepared for the Wild West.
They headed west, but peace didn't follow them. Dun, dun,
right.
dun.
So again, this is the story section is the opportunity for us passive, meek, quiet, introverted creators to shine, because you can be as bold as bombastic as you want in the written word and on these pages, and you have the opportunity to really get people excited just in those first paragraphs. But between these two sections, neither one of them is really that sounds cool, I want to check it out, right? But there is some positives to it. It has the idea of aliens and Western is always fun, like you said, cowboys and aliens. And it does make me curious about what this is gonna be about. And she is clear about what is happening. There's a very specific breakdown of the premise here. Spaceship crashes, farmer dies, all that kind of stuff. So that part's great. But yeah, that's a place that can be improved, I think. Let's jump back. Oops, we're already there. Let's jump back into, we've got a cast here. So this would be something that could be cool for our last campaign, for Bill's campaign, a little character breakdown sheet. We've got Mildred, Russell, Trey, Sheriff, Dark Cowboy, the aliens. We've got some preview pages. And so we can see some colorful pages there.
Okay. I do like the character design. I mean, the art on this is top shelf. I mean, I could see this as a mainstream book. The art on this is really well done.
Yeah, good job, Martha. So without going in and reading the context, this text, which it's a little hard at this scale. I'm getting an idea of the tone. It doesn't seem too dark, based on the artwork. It seems a little bit lighter. And so there might be sort of a comedic side to it, or more of a heartfelt side. I'm not really quite sure. It just doesn't seem like it's super dark. But then we've got the rewards. There's a $3 digital for 24 pages. That's a steal.
That's a bargain. Holy crap.
Yeah, I think that, that's a good one. And check this out. let me make sure I'm reading this right because I want to come over here. Also, there's a shout out in our book and on the website for $1. Always great to see those super low tiers. So
that is nice.
Even if I'm not interested in this book, I would back it for that. So we got a $3 PDF, and then I did read this right. You can get the physical comic book, 24 pages in full color, for only $5.
What?
I know.
Okay.
Honestly, guys, in this day and age, most comics on the shelf at the comic shop are $5, right?
Yes.
This is mass-produced books that are in the thousands. People already expect an indie comic to be a little bit more because they know they're not getting mass quantities. They know the expenses are higher, and so I think, like, personally, the minimum on a book on Kickstarter is probably around $10. And if you offer more, because this also comes with the PDF for $5. So you're getting a PDF and the physical version for $5. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't jump on that just for the sake of how cheap it is.
Yeah, that is dirt cheap. I mean, because it's going to cost you more than $5 just to ship that thing.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
You're already operating at a loss.
Here's the thing to Martha. If you charge even just a little bit more, let's split the difference. Let's say you charge $8 for your comic. You can use that extra money to pay for a voiceover actor for the next campaign. Right? So you want to think about, you're not just trying to raise money for this book. You're trying to raise money to pay for covers or campaigns expenses for the next book. And so that's one of the reasons why, and you guys in the chat, let me know what you think. Do you expect an indie comic on Kickstarter to be at $10 or more for a physical? Is that pretty normal to you? I feel like it is.
I mean, to me it is. I mean, I'm not expecting anything under $10 physical copy for a Kickstarter. $5 for a digital. Yeah, I mean that seems right on par, because it's you're not out anything. It's this easy transaction. So I mean I think that's a bargain. I would readjust your ticket prices on that one, just as a suggestion.
Yep. Benjamin says, I am surprised if a physical is less than $10, right? So yeah, we've come to expect it. So I feel like you could be making a little bit of money. And here's the thing, like this artist right here, Steph Wilson, he's all over the place. If you guys have backed comics, you've probably seen his art. His art, I mean, I do not mean to this in an offensive way, but his art reminds me of like a balloon artist that like twists up and makes characters out of balloons. Because it always has this like bursting at the seams, but then really tight in the connection points kind of look. But he is a sought after cover artist that is on a lot of campaigns, and you're gonna step on the keyboard, my man. And so I would imagine that she had to pay him some money for that, which means another reason why we want to like maybe bump these tiers up just a little bit. It's
very Bruce Timm style as far as his characters. And you're right. I mean, I've seen his stuff a lot of places, and I appreciate and I really do like Bruce Timm's art style when it comes to, some of the animated stuff. And I have I think 4 or 5 of his sketchbooks, just because I do appreciate that particular style. But yeah, if you just bumped your tiers just a bit, not going over the top, you might give yourself a bit of a budget, just a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I would imagine that he's probably charging a few $100s at least just for these covers, and so that means that a lot of the profits going, and you're walking away with not really gaining anything. And so you want to be able to have a little bit ahead so that you can start making it easier on yourself. Now, this one is interesting. I want to check this out. Yeah, it is showing on my screen. This looks like a wooden cover version of that Steph Wilson cover. It says limited to only 5 and only on rewards. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Variant cover. So the variant covers are a little bit more. The Steph and Carrie variant cover is $20. So
Again, really reasonable. I paid $20 just for like mainstream variant covers.
Okay, here it is. Kickstarter wood cover, $40, limited to only 5 issues with a certificate of authenticity, made from wood panel board and a one-of-a-kind handcrafted and painted by the comic artist of the series. That's pretty cool.
That's $40?
Yeah. And there's already been 3 people jump on that, so you can see that people are willing to pay that.
Yes.
So I think all in all, Steph, you definitely have some room to raise your budget. So all in all, I think there's some places for improvement, but you got that. Let's see one last thing. Let's see if there's a whale tier. That is I think that's an early bird reward. That's an early bird reward. So that means our $200 tier is to be drawn in the next book, a background character in the next book for $200. No one's jumped on it yet. So that's a good tier.
That's a great tier.
So yeah, I think this one's got some areas for improvement. You can definitely tighten up the pitch, give it some more energy. You're being clear, but you're not being like hooky and enthusiastic, and letting us know like what kind of comic this is. One really easy way to do that is to say, hey, if you like this, then you'll like this. That's an easy way if you can't think of a way to figure out how to tag it. Clarify the tone a little bit, and then maybe a little bit more on those tiers for sure. All right, Sam, you're gonna have to go. You're messing everything up. He's so eager to spend time with me. He's like pushing on the microphone, stepping on the keyboard. Come on.
He wants his screen time, man.
Yeah, he does, which I don't mind, but he's like back and forth, rubbing against the microphone, walking over the keyboard today. I'm like, just lay down and chill, my man, and you'll be all right. Benjamin says, isn't a low physical price a gamble because you'll hope you'll sell a lot to make it worth it? Yeah, you have to get more backers if you have a really low price. So if you don't have a huge backing, that's going to take a long time. You're going to have to work a lot harder for it.
Well, and the volume of it, that's fine. If you're pushing through, 20, 30, 100 backers for that tier, yes, the pros outweigh the cons, but that low of a price point, you're operating in a loss until you get to a higher volume. You're still inverted, because shipping on that book alone is going to be more than $5. I mean, it's just mathematics. The lower tier sometimes could probably backfire, and everyone's like, well, why is it only $5? And they start scrolling down, and I can see where it maybe would pay off with the higher tiers that like only for $40 I can have a wooden one. And there's some different, ploys that you can use from a marketing standpoint for that. But at least I would even split the difference, $8. That way you look like a bargain. And compared to all the rest of the indie comic books, and you're not out a whole lot of money if you don't get the volume that you're looking for that particular tier. So yes, it's a slippery slope when you're dealing with the economic side of it.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, most of us know that on average, if you make a few hundred copies, you can get a book printed for around $3, maybe $4. And things have gone up a little bit. And then you have to add in the cost of the packaging material, those, Gemini mailers and stuff like that. By the time you add all that up, before you, even covered the shipping expense, yes, one of those right there. Before you even added the expense.
Not cheap. I'm telling you right there, not cheap. They're great, but they're not cheap.
Well, not compared to, just like an envelope or something. No, but they do their job well. And so, like, by the time you add all that in, you've probably already exceeded $5, which is why most campaigns are more than that. Once it's on the shelf at a store, maybe then you can, have it for $5. But on the campaign, you got to charge more because you're putting more into it. Bill says shipping can be a killer. Got to build that in as well as you can for sure. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That brings us down to our third and final entry. Deadhead number 1. Deadhead number 1, a slasher comic book plus action figure. Our tagline says, John Wick meets Jason Voorhees. What a fitting day for that. Deadhead goes rogue against the worldwide fraternity of professional slashers.
I like it.
I like it too. So we've got a $1,200 goal, which is a pretty easy goal to hit for the most part. And they've already raised $5,684. So they've, or like, 4 times that?
Yeah, they blew it out of the water.
With 100 backers. So that means either everybody's getting, some larger tiers, maybe some of those action figures. We'll find out. But now I will say this before I play this. I kind of glanced at this one the other day, not knowing it was going to be on the show. And it's going to play some Motorhead.
All right, we already know when it's going to happen there.
Yeah. So what's going to happen, and this is why I'm going to go ahead and go full screen on this for a second. The reason that you have to be careful about this is that later on, when my show is on YouTube, once a show is monetized and they're getting ad revenue, they will automatically mute anything that's copyrighted. So if someone's watching this show and we get to this video, it's going to go mute, and they're just going to be watching the screen with no sound on until the video's over. And so you're losing the opportunity for people to see it. Obviously, Kickstarter is not being as strict about the copyright stuff because it's on Kickstarter and it's working for him. He's got, almost $6,000 and 100 backers, and Kickstarter hasn't said anything. But you gotta be careful about it. Anyway, just know I'm going to play it anyway, but just know that that's what's going to happen down the road. And you got to watch out for that. So let's go back to that and hit play.
Enough to make your backbone shake the killers. Enough to make your stupid laces quiver. And the killers like to take your life. The sun beats down like thunder. We like to meet the foe. The clash of steel and leather. The only song we know. No pardon. No quarter. We don't show no compassion. We glory in the slaughter. No mercy. We fetch your death. The killer. We are the ones who told we are the killers.
And it's over. Abrupt ending.
Okay.
All right. So what'd you think of that video? What'd you get out of it? Positives and negatives.
I mean, it's intense. The energy is definitely raised by the music bed. It sets a tone that I don't know if that's what's in the comic, but if they actually follow the tone set by the music, that's an impressive ride. I like the art. I like everything that I saw, but I don't know what I saw. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything other than, all right, you got a toy line. So, I mean, the toy collector in me is just kind of like, ooh, something new, something different that appeals to two factions inside of the collector and me. So, I mean, you got my attention. It's a scroll down at least to see if the tagline helps me expand my vision of what this is about. But I mean, yeah, that music, yeah, you're gonna get tagged on that one. And I don't know if it's just because it's filtered through like 3 different devices here, but the quality did not sound great. If you're going to rip it properly so that the quality is at least decent. All right. I mean, that's like
again,
only...
you're right. It might be because we're playing it through all these different things, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because I don't know what it sounds like on your end, but I mean, it sounded
a little. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't. I mean, there is a grittiness to that older music.
Yes,
it was kind of before the digital age when that was made, but it still should be.
It didn't sound exactly right to me, being the former radio personality that I am. I don't remember it sounding quite like that, but then, it's been a few decades and a lot of loud music.
Well, I'm a fan of that music, and so I mean, just like within the first few notes, I was like, definitely recognize this. So,
but if you're gonna rip it properly, make it sound good at least. Come on.
But you're right. It did set the tone. It fit. Another thing too that is another one you want to watch out for. Again, I'm kind of surprised. I don't really know where Kickstarter's boundaries are when it comes to what you can show, what you can't show. But I know that on YouTube, sometimes if something is too violent, we have to blur it, or they'll blur it, or they'll just shut down the whole video for being too violent. Like for instance, I was watching something about the Blade series, and I think it was in the second one where he's fighting the guy that can keep regenerating, and Blade cuts him in half, and his upper body goes up above, and there's this like stream of blood, and then it kind of comes back and connects him. Well, the makers of the video had to blur that section out because that was too violent to show on YouTube. And so maybe, it doesn't apply because it's art or comic art, that kind of thing. But, obviously Kickstarter is not saying anything about it at this point. That's fine. It just means that other people won't be able to share it very easily on their videos, on their YouTube shows. I'm sure Facebook would run into the same thing, not being able to show it there either. So got to watch out for that. But yeah, I definitely got, a strong vibe out of it. I was pretty stoked. So let's see what else it tells us down below here. Let me go to the top and let's go to here. All right, let's go with this view. We are utilizing the jump points. This is the first one of the day that's utilizing these jump points. This is what we're talking about. So if you have these activated, you can see that I can just click on this button. Actually, you can't see my mouse cursor on the example, but I can just hit story, or I can jump all the way down to covers. Now my cursor is showing up. I can jump to reward tiers. And so if I'm already sold and I want to know, what I'm getting, I can just jump down here to reward tiers. That's why it's a good thing. So let's start at the top. We got our cool logo graphic to open, and then it says, John Wick meets Jason Voorhees in an off-the-wall slasher fest. Deadhead is a wild, action-packed gore fest of love letter to classic horror slashers and 90s independent superhero comics, packed with 44 pages of ultra violence. All right, so already I know what I'm getting. I know it's 44 pages. I know it's going to be ultra violent, gore fest. So, like, if that's not my thing, I already know right out of the gate. You've let me, the video kind of let me know that too, to be clear. In the story section, it says, Deadhead was a token horror movie victim, destined to die like all the cliched film trope deaths before him. Thanks to a twist of the knife of fate, he lives on as the ultimate slasher to kill all slashers. Follow along as Deadhead's thirst for revenge leads him through dozens of slashers to the one and only Mauler Mason, a legendary killer who's murdered thousands. It's a bloody thrill ride that pays homage to your favorite horror movie slashers of all time while raising the power levels and stakes into the stratosphere.
Wow.
Pretty clear pitch right near the top. We got all that in our first couple paragraphs. That is a great formula right there, guys. And then we jump into preview pages. That's probably the second most important thing, is giving us a look of what it looks like. I love this art style. It's both clean and gritty at the same time. Really clean line art mixed with some digital messy brush strokes. And it comes together to really feel that. One of the things when it comes to writing a horror comic is like what style of art you're going to go for. And this has kind of got this balance of, because they want to go ultra violent, but it's also kind of cartoony. So it keeps us from imagine doing this violent, but yet making it ultra realistic, Yeah.
I mean, they take the edge off of it by delivering it in that style where, this actually is the formula for classic horror, where, you have these intense moments and then they cut in with like a bit of humor or something to ground you, to take that take that taste out of your mouth after seeing someone getting decapitated with a pitchfork. So this actually plays right into the classic horror and the trope that they're looking to do. So again, well done. That's point.
Yeah, the artwork is great. Down here it says the action figure. The Deadhead action figure is sculpted by Peter Keane, a veteran toy sculptor and toy photographer with experience including Mezco, Factory Entertainment, blah, 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 blah. And it means no 3D sculpts, no 3D printing. This figure was hand sculpted.
Nice.
This is Iron Age Comics' very first action figure with many more to come. We recognize the price point is higher than if you were to buy a similar size figure off the shelf, but overhead initial costs for a company new to toys are very high. So see, they're being upfront with why the cost is more. And that's another good thing, clarity and trust. Like I'm going to go see that it's a little bit more expensive, but I know why. That's a good thing to add as well.
No, and transparency is great. But if I'm seeing a custom figure, I'm expecting to pay at least 10 to 15% more than, the Hasbro HasLab
because it's on release. Kickstarter even.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that, to be honest.
Yeah. So there's what it looks like. Nice packaging. That looks pretty sharp. Then we've got our covers here. Let's jump to covers. We got a bunch of different covers. Some of these covers are just really cool to look at. I like the stylization of it. Let's jump down to our tiers. We had it's a featured tier. So let's start at the beginning. Pulped to a Pulp is the name of this tier. Pulped to a Pulp. That's your digital copy featuring your 44-page, I believe it was 44 pages, introduction to the world of Deadhead. So for $7. Then we've got cover A for $15. Toolkit of Terror cover B for $16. Looks like the rest of the tiers are $16. And then you can have this is both physical and the digital for $20. And then they kind of do that. They've got a holofoil. So let's scroll down. We've got for $500. We jumped from 85 to 500. That's a pretty big jump.
Okay. That's a big jump.
It says you can get the original art for cover D and the comic book. So get your hands on this one-of-a-kind original art piece by Ryan Brown, shipped in a flat, rigid cardboard inside a large box for protection. Another one for cover E from Joseph Schmalke. And then we have the early birds. So it looks like the two whale tiers are the two $500 ones. And those are both great. $500 for piece of original art and the book. But I do feel like you can throw some more value in there. Neither one of those have been taken yet. So, for instance, doesn't cost you anything to throw in the PDF of the book so they can keep their original copy. It doesn't cost you anything to do a thank you, or maybe make them list them as a producer or executive producer in the back of the book.
Or a victim. Victim. That's a perfect one.
Yes, one of the victims.
One of the victims.
And again, in this particular case, people love, and Smurf can back me up on this, people love to be an extra in a slasher book. People love to get killed off in books. So having that as a tier that for the next book, because this says this is just the first, to have them say, hey, you can be drawn as a character that gets, slashed up in an upcoming book, if that's possible. Or another one is to just do a sketch of them as a character, on a cover or just on a 9x12
a milk cart.
board.
A milk carton.
I love it. What? Yeah, I love it. Missing poster. So,
A missing poster.
I think there's some opportunities for some other tiers here, but all in all, $500 is still a good well tier. But
there's a big.
Go ahead.
There's a big one. There's a huge missing opportunity here. What about if all I want are the action figures? Where is that tier? If I just want to collect all of the action figures with a digital copy and I end up on a milk carton, I think that would be a really cool tier, because you've got like the figures look great, and you have those collectors out there that are like, not so much about the comics, but I do like the figures. What about access to just the toy line?
I'm looking because I'm curious. I don't know if the toy line was like just an add-on.
Maybe, but I'd actually have that as an offer. As much energy and time and finances that you have thrown at those figures, I would capitalize on that. I would add that as a tier.
All right, we got a $150 early bird tier. So this one's no, I don't know if it's still going or not, but it says early bird double box set. So you get the figure, and then you get the cover, plus covers A, B, and D. And so you get a figure and 3 covers for $150. They had like 8 people back that up. And then there's another one here for $250 with the figure. And you get the covers, a PDF, some trading cards, some other things like that. So, but I agree. I think maybe they have the, I think you're right. If someone just wants the figure, maybe it's listed as an add-on though. So maybe I can go get a digital copy and then go jump over and get the physical add-on. I don't know. I don't see it as its own reward though. But wait a minute. No, that's still a reward with covers. So,
okay. It just seems like money left on the table. It's an opportunity. The toy collector in me would be definitely like, okay, what if I just want the toys? And I don't need the comic. I can just read the digital download. So I would go that route, and then something special for. I do like the milk carton idea. That would be just so like apropos for this universe. Oh
yeah, I agree. That's a pretty good idea. All right, guys, it is time for us to decide which one of these gave the best pitch. Which one of these are we going to back this week based on which one had the best pitch? What do you guys think? We had 3 entries today. We had this one, Deadhead. We had Zen Bounty Wars and Aliens West. So put your choices in the comment section. Which one do you think you would back based simply on the pitch alone? I'm ready for mine. What about you, sir?
I am ready, sir. Let us do it.
All right, let's do it. And drum roll, please. Go. Oh, we chose the same. Apparently, Sam did too, because he's up in yours as well.
And he's making out with it. Yeah, he likes that pick a lot.
He likes it a lot. He likes it a lot. All right, guys. There was a pretty clear choice based on just the pitch. Again, that doesn't make these other comics not good comics to check out or support, or that I wouldn't. This show is about the pitch, and this one had more of the positive points hitting. I didn't love that the video didn't tell me a lot about what's going on, and it used copyrighted music, but it definitely did a good job in setting the tone and the genre, and getting me excited. And so that's something positive it had going for it. But then the content section is really where it hit home for me right out of the gate, with a strong, section about what the story was about, what I'm getting, how many pages, the tone, the genre, and then also utilizing those jump points as well. So all in all, had the best stuff for me, and that's why I chose it. All right.
I agree. It worked well. Again, there were some opportunities in the video, but I think they more than made up for it with the pitch. I got immediately what I wanted, and then it just continued to offer more. And you know what? I liked it. I liked it a lot. So yeah, I'd read it. I'd pick it up off the shelf. Actually, all three of these, to be honest, I would pick up off the shelf. All three solid. This was very, very, very steep competition this week. So without a doubt.
Yeah, good campaigns all the way around. But thanks for watching this week. Hope you learned something. And like I said, if you're interested in having your campaign looked at before it launches, feel free to message me privately on Matt Campbell on Facebook, or Matt Campbell Art on Facebook or Instagram, or on Action Line Studios, or on YouTube. Any one of those places you can reach out to me and say, hey, can you check this out? And we can discuss that. In the meantime, you can check out my comic book at actionlinestudios.com. We have 9 issues of Mythica currently up in both digital and physical formats. There's also a book called The Art of Matt Campbell available for just $10. We've got metal bookmarks, and a whole bunch more. So be sure and check that out. That's a way that you can support this show, keep us going, and keep us helping indie creators like yourself. Also, you can go check out all the cool stuff at Smurf's place. Smurf, what do they got since he is out?
You can go over to 5280geek.com, 5280geek on Facebook, 5280geek on Instagram, and keep up with our antics across the Geekverse, our podcast, Weekend Geek Update. We also have a creator spotlight, which one of our local authors, who is a children's book author, kind of follows us through her creative process and what she's got going on. We also have Adventures in Cosplay. We'll also have some other things coming up. And like I said, me just traipsing around in the Geekverse, Lord knows where and when I will pop up. But if you would like to sponsor our antics, your name here to be our sponsor, please help us create so you can create. And on that bombshell, we shall say goodbye. In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.